After a hot recruiting weekend, Paul Finebaum says it feels like vintage Alabama recruiting. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Kangaroo Black coming back once again to talk about Paul Finebaum and what he had to say about Alabama recruiting after this weekend. He had a lot of good things to say, man, and I'm gonna just go ahead and get straight into it. If you want to read the article, you can go to Saturday Down South and read it. All right. Kalen Deboer, street feels like vintage Alabama recruiting under Nick Saban. First, I want to say, yeah, Nick Saban is still in the building. But let's give credit to Coach Kalen Deboer and his staff. It is them that's bringing in these highly talented recruits. It is them that's getting these recruits to commit to the University of Alabama. Yeah, Saban is in the building. He may be talking to these recruits. I know he's taking pictures with these recruits. But guess what? I don't think Saban is on the phone. I don't think Saban is taking in and recruiting trips. You know what I'm saying? Saban is in a advisory role, okay? Getting paid $500,000 from the University of Alabama. That's all we know about what Coach Saban is doing and his job. It ain't recruiting, I can tell you that. But let's get to what Paul Finebaum had to say. During Monday's appearance for McElroy and Kulik in the morning, Finebaum particularly spoke to the continuity Deboer found this offseason by hiring his longtime offensive coordinator and right-hand man, Ryan Grubb. It allowed the Crimson Tide to see continuity start oozing over to recruiting. And you know, last week, Coach Kalen Deboer talked about the continuity that they lacked last season. And he's been preaching that the whole offseason from their first leadership meeting. And that's what Ty Simpson talked about also. Continuity and doing things different this coming up season. Okay, so we already know they working on the continuity. They've been working on it, and it's coming. It's coming to play. It's coming into play because you can see it when they had no scholarship players to transfer after spring camp. Not one. So the continuity is there. The buy-in is there. Let's keep going. Over the past week, Alabama has landed a pair of top 50 prospects in the 2026 recruiting class. Those commitments came in the form of Xavier Crowell, a 4-star running back, and in-state prospect, a 5-star edge, Xavier Griffin out of Georgia. Okay, got them this past weekend. They was already really crystal ball to come to Alabama. We got another crystal ball that just might commit today. He's a 3-star wide receiver. But anyway, hopefully he will commit to my Alabama Crimson Tide. Also, Cedric Morgan, 5-star wide receiver, supposed to commit, I think on Wednesday, July 2nd. It's a good chance that Alabama will get him also. So we'll see how it goes. But this recruiting class is shaping up really good. I'm telling you now. Matter of fact, this time last year, this time in 2023, 2022, even 2021. We wasn't at this point. We wasn't in July, in June, beginning of July. We wasn't 7 or 8 in recruiting. We was always 15 through 20, somewhere along in that area in June or early July. But now you sitting at 7, 8. Come on now. Kalen Deboer is tearing up this recruiting trail. Tearing it up, him and his staff. All right. As a matter of fact, coming into last week, we was in the 30s. We was in the 30s, and you know, fans was panicking about 3 stars. We ain't signing them but 3 stars. Told you. Don't worry about it. 3 stars, they can be developed to play like 5 stars. That's all I know. Them stars go out the window once you get to your respective program, college football program. Them stars are just for high school. Them stars is ratings for what you did in high school. So hopefully it'll all work out in college. But hey, it is what it is. All I know, we landed some stellar recruits. That's what I do know. But anyway, things are heating up to the point that Paul Finebaum described as almost feeling like the legendary Saban is back at the helm. Well, he's not. I can tell you that right now. Quite frankly, this is one of the great recruiting runs we've seen in some years. It almost feels like Nick Saban is running the ship again when it comes to recruiting. This has been vintage Alabama recruiting. And I think when we saw this transition a year and a half ago, I think a lot of people doubted people could come back to this particular moment in time. But it is here. And I think it bodes extremely well for Alabama in the future. You daggone right it. It's bodes extremely well for Alabama in the future. Alabama got a bright future. A bright future. We still going to have 4 and 5 stars all up and down the roster at every daggone position. Every position. Come on, man. Yeah, a year and a half ago, people didn't think Alabama recruiting would be where it is now. You had a lot of people doubting Coach Kalen Deboer, whether he could come to the SEC and recruit at a high level, whether doubting him, saying he can't recruit the South or he can't recruit the state of Alabama, coming from the Pac-12, coming from the West Coast, where Coach Kalen Deboer, he don't give a damn where you from. If he wants you, he going after you. That's all I know. Yeah, he like to get a lot of West Coast players. Yeah, he do. But when it comes to the South, all right, he going after some of the best. Matter of fact, he going after some of the best all over the country. But one thing about Coach Kalen Deboer and his staff, he ain't going after you just because you a 5-star, 4-star, whatever. This staff, Coach Kalen Deboer, is going after the players that they feel best fits the system. If you're a 5-star and they don't feel like you best fit the system, they ain't coming after you. If you're a 3-star and they feel like you best fit the system, they coming after you. So that's just the way they work, and that's just the way they putting this team together. And that's how they put those teams together in Washington and Fresno State. That's why they winners. Just like Coach Kalen Deboer say, winners win. That's it. But anyway, let's keep going. Paul Finebaum also said, it's ultimately an irritating signal for the rest of the college football world. Even without Saban, it looked like Deboer's program will be competing at a top level for the foreseeable future. You daggone right. We, Alabama, going to be competing at the top for the foreseeable future. And that comes with recruiting. And just like I said last night on the live, if Alabama put together a great season, we can go say 11-1, even 10-2, 12-0, make it to the playoffs, possibly win the national championship, maybe win a SEC championship. You're going to see some players flipping. Players that's committed to other programs will be flipping to the University of Alabama. I can guarantee you that. I can guarantee you that. Let them go 12-0, 11-1 in the SEC championship and win it, and then go deep in the playoff. You ain't got to win it. You ain't got to win the national championship, but go deep in the playoff. I guarantee you some of these players that's committed to other programs will be flipping to the University of Alabama. I can guarantee you that. But anyway, to the rest of college football, this is an annoying and irritating signal. Nick Saban may be gone, but Alabama is still one of the great standards in all time of college football. I think a lot of people forgot that, especially younger people who only knew the Nick Saban era. Come on now. What did he say? What did he say? Nick Saban is gone, but Alabama is still one of the great standards in all time of college football, and that is a fact. And he go on to say, he talked about Alabama, before Nick Saban, how many national championships they had before Nick Saban, which was 12. I might add, more than anybody else in college football. That's all I know. So Alabama is not built on Nick Saban. And Nick Saban didn't build Alabama. He didn't build a brand. He did not. But anyway, at this point, Alabama is up to the 8th overall recruiting class in the country according to the team composite rankings. However, the Tide have the third best average rating in the country from their 14 commitments. In that lens, there is still time to make a run at the number one overall class in the country currently held by USC. We might not get the number one recruiting class, but we'll be top 5. And hopefully we'll be top 3 again. Hopefully. All right. Paul Finebaum, he also talked about the role that Nick Saban is playing in recruiting, which I don't think is a big one. I don't think it's a big role in recruiting. On several visits, Saban has taken photos with players in the 2026 class, including wide receiver Cedric Morgan and running back Xavier Crowell, who committed on Saturday. As I said, Cedric Morgan, he's supposed to announce his commitment on the 2nd, which is Wednesday. All right. But anyway, some speculated that Saban is the reason Alabama has been able to recruit at such a high level. However, Paul Finebaum shared a different opinion during his appearance on McElroy and Kublik, which was this morning. This is what Paul Finebaum said. Saban still walks around and can be seen, and not that's helping you get a 5-star recruit. But I think a lot of people just forgot that it's Alabama. Alabama is a brand. Alabama is the brand that has been around college football since the Rose Bowl in the 1920s. And again, I would laugh sometimes when I would hear young people say it's only Nick Saban. That's not true. When a recruit lands at Tuscaloosa or drives through that city and sees the sights that everybody has seen throughout the course of history, it resonates. You damn right. Alabama is a brand. Alabama is a brand that's been around since the 1920s when they won their first national championship in 1925. As I said, Saban didn't make Alabama. Damn sure didn't. Alabama ain't built on Nick Saban. Alabama been this way for a long time. Alabama got a rich history. Even if you exclude the national championship Saban won with Alabama, the franchise will still have earned 12 other titles, with the first dating back to 1925. So they undoubtedly have a rich history. Come on now. Nick Saban, he did something for Alabama that not many coaches can do. Granted, you can't take away what he did for the University of Alabama, and those fans love Nick Saban for what he did for the University of Alabama's football program. He took it to another level. But Alabama football has seen this before under Coach Bear Bryant. And before Bear Bryant, Alabama football had national championships before Bear Bryant. Come on now. Matter of fact, Alabama had 6 national championships before Bear Bryant. So come on now. Make it make sense. 5, I believe 5 before Bear Bryant. All right. So don't act like this thing is Nick Saban built this thing. He might have built the Bama standard as we know it now, but he didn't build the University of Alabama. Come on now, maybe like the article say, for the young people, but for the old heads, no, because they seen something different other than Nick Saban. So hey, you can think what you want to think if you're a young man or a woman who's an Alabama football fan, but this thing has been going for a long time. Yeah, we'd have had some down years over the course of Alabama football. But Alabama has never went 20 years without winning a national championship. Okay, so Alabama got how many, how many national championship winning coaches? How many? 6, 7, maybe. So it is what it is. Saban ain't the only one. But anyway, even before Saban coached at Alabama, the program had a solid history of recruiting talent talented high school players. From 2000 to 2006, it recorded a total of 4 top 15 recruiting classes in the nation. From 2000 to 2006. Won many good years in those years, but we still had 4 top 15 recruiting classes. Now, if you say Alabama is finished recruiting ranked number 10, 11, 12, people might say recruiting has fell off. And I would agree, being that we always have a top 5, top 3 recruiting class, especially under Nick Saban. So, yeah, you would say it fell off. But a top 15 recruiting class ain't bad. All right, so plus during that time under Mike Shula, we had some hard times. But, hey, Mike Shula did go 10-2 one season. I think Dennis Franchon, he had 2 winning seasons as a head coach. But, hey, we'll see what if this recruiting surge can continue, right? We might have 2, maybe 3 more recruits to commit just this week. And the 5-star Cedric Morgan commit, man, we'll be in the top 5. Let him commit. We might have a 3-star commit today, like I said. But anyway, Alabama been doing this. It's not as though Alabama completely spiraled in its first season without Saban either. As head coach, Kalen Deboer led Alabama to an overall 9-4 record while going 5-3 in the SEC matchup. No matter the size of Saban's role, though, it doesn't appear that Alabama will want to switch things up, and its 2026 recruiting class currently has 14 commits and ranks number 4 in the SEC and number 7 in the nation. All right, I think number 7 is on 3/rivals. Number 8 is 247. Okay, but yeah, Saban might have a role, but I think it's a very small role in this recruiting process at Alabama. Yeah, hey, if I had Saban, I would use him too. I would use him. I probably would use him as much as I can. He'll probably get tired of me, but I think Coach Kalen Deboer is trying to use him as less as possible and let him and his staff put in the work. So maybe some of these commits are coming to Alabama because Nick Saban is still in the building. Maybe, but I doubt it, because Nick Saban ain't got nothing to do with what goes on Saturdays. He's not roaming the sidelines. He might be up in a booth at home games, but he ain't roaming the sidelines. And I ain't seen nail headset on Coach Saban's head on Saturdays. Not last year, I didn't. Not last year. Not while he was at a home game. So, hey, it is what it is. Y'all give Coach Kalen Deboer his credit, him and his staff. All right? Just because Coach Saban in the building and it feel like vintage Alabama recruiting under Nick Saban, that don't mean it's Nick Saban. It's all Coach Kalen Deboer. That's all I know. And I'm going to sit here and I'm going to wait until 3-star wide receiver Owen something. See if he recruit to my Alabama Crimson Tide, in which he's predicted to do. Matter of fact, let me give y'all his name. I don't want to mess up his name. I think it's Owen Cable, I believe. Cabell. Owen Cable, 3-star wide receiver. All right, so out of Tennessee. So maybe we'll get him. He's crystal ball to Alabama. I looked at his highlights. Great wide receiver. He knows how to get open. I can tell you that. He know how to get open from what I seen going by his film. Remember, it's just high school, okay? But anyway, we'll see in about an hour or two. So, hey, until then, y'all be blessed. Remember, KB don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide, and roll damn Tide.